Good morning, Roger. All that stuff and chatter right after this.
Like this a whole show.
And we are back, and Lauren doesn't know what to do with her hands.
Still doesn't know what to do with her hands.
One week off. Hey, good morning, Beth. 1 week off, and we don't know what to do with her hands.
Good morning, Beth.
She forgot.
I don't even know. What are we doing? Who am I?
Why am I here?
What's happening?
Admiral James Stockdale, the longest POW person in Vietnam, released, ran for vice president under Ross Perot in 1992, and famously said at the vice presidential debate when they were arguing over him, "Who am I? Why am I here?" Admiral James Stockdale. There you go.
Nice quote.
From 30 years ago.
Wow, digging deep.
digging
Whoa.
deep on that
Yeah.
one. He's a fascinating man, though.
Dana Carvey was so fun back in those days of SNL. You talk about Ross Perot and
he did George Bush too.
and George Bush. Yeah,
Not gonna do it.
yeah. Wouldn't be prudent.
We saw.
Kids don't get the jokes.
Yeah,
No, they don't.
the kids aren't watching. It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
We know our crowd.
We do.
We watched it, and I'm sure this was released because of all of Biden's blunders. I saw a clip, like a YouTube compilation of George W. Bush's like speech flubs, you know.
Yeah,
and I was
some
like,
good ones too.
oh man, he did.
He would tumble over his words all the
Oh,
time. He
it's
never
terrible.
lost his train of thought.
Right.
Like he's
Yeah.
like literally forgot where he was and what he was doing.
Yeah,
right.
he didn't do that.
Yeah, he knew where he was.
Like the current
He knew
guy.
what he meant to say.
Yeah.
He just got tongue-tied.
He was not a
He
good
got
public
tongue-tied a
speaker.
lot.
He was not a good
Blah, blah,
public
blah.
speaker at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so I don't pay attention anymore. Are there spoofs? Like, is somebody doing Biden?
I
Or
don't
do they just
know.
protect him from that too?
I think he's protected.
They probably
think they're
can't feel
allowed
like
to
they
make fun of him.
can't because it's, is it?
Facebook
like,
will ban them. They'll lose
is
their page.
It's too bad because that was what was so great about that is no one was untouchable.
Nobody was safe.
Yeah, but they all laughed.
Sure.
They would have the guy that did
On
the
with
impersonations
them.
of them,
Yeah.
and they would meet
Right
and they
in
would
front of them,
laugh
and
and
they'd do
just
it
they
together.
just crack up together.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Because
it Will Ferrell that did GWB? Wasn't it? Yeah,
Was
I'm pretty
it?
sure it was Will
I think
Ferrell
it
who did George
was.
W. Bush.
I don't know.
I think he did.
Dana Carvey did his dad.
I was
but
Yeah.
not watching Saturday Night Live at that point in my life.
That's fair.
in that time, in the 90s, you weren't?
George W. was 2000.
Oh, George W. Sorry, I'm back. I'm back
no.
No,
Yeah.
80s
Ross
and
Perot.
early 90s,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, no. Good
stuff.
Faithfully watching all
Right,
the time.
okay,
Those
yeah.
guys were hilarious. Phil Hartman was like one of my favorites.
Feels
Yeah.
good.
Loved Phil
That
Hartman.
dry sense of
Now it
humor.
doesn't even
And
make sense.
His life ended so tragically. I mean, that's crazy. You guys know what happened to Phil Hartman?
I can't
guess I
remember.
don't.
His wife murdered him.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
that's interesting.
crazy.
Watch out.
He had some great characters. Of course, he was Lionel Hutz.
Well, he was Jack Handy too, right?
No, that
Didn't he
was
do-
Stuart Smalley,
Oh.
I think. Stuart Smalley, the
Stuart
same guy
Smalley.
that Stuart Smalley, who's the...
I thought he did Stuart Smalley's stuff.
No, that's the guy. He ended up being a senator, a crazy leftist senator from
Oh,
Michigan.
yeah.
It was
The
that guy.
thick glasses.
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
his name?
I can't.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Al Franken.
Al Franken, yeah.
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
You're right. My bad.
Phil Hartman was Lionel Hutz on The Simpsons,
Phil.
the lawyer, which is great. So I'm the law. talking guy.
Yeah.
He did,
That was good.
And he did Frozen Caveman Attorney. He
Yes,
played
I remember that.
I love Frozen. I don't know much because I'm just a frozen caveman attorney.
Yeah.
But I do know that if you get hit by a semi, it's worth $50,000.
Yeah.
That sounds legit. I love it when you're traveling and you go through the new cities and you see the new billboard of the injury attorney
Oh,
of
yeah.
that
PI
area.
lawyers.
One of them's like, call Mama T. I think that's in like
Atlanta?
Tennessee.
Yeah.
I think it's in Memphis. Yeah. And I can't
call
remember the
Mama
ones like
T.
in South Carolina, but I'm like, I don't know.
Every state has their Aaron Sachs. Huh?
Call the Bless Your Heart Law Firm.
Speaking of Aaron Sachs, which I don't want to add more fuel to this.
Are you gonna bring up
media
T-Swift?
fire? I'm
No.
not, because all facets of media have been controlled by this narrative. What are we hiding? That's what I want to know.
With
What are they
T-Swift?
hiding? Something's going on.
Oh,
I
my
mean,
goodness.
and like something else is going on. This is a smoke screen.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, it's a
yes,
false
it's
flag.
a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But Aaron Sachs, he's excited.
Oh yeah.
He got
Sack
dumped.
man.
He got
Is he
dumped.
dumped?
Yeah, he got
Kelsey,
dumped for
Kelsey,
T-Swift.
yeah, dumped him. Travis Kelsey dumped him for T Swift.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You
not
look so
happy then.
confused as to wait, what?
Oh no.
Yeah.
So he's not doing his commercials
No, I
anymore?
know probably is, but that's
Oh.
that's the joke.
Yeah, I knew that was going right over your head
like,
there for a
what?
second. Like,
I'm
what?
like, they
Wait, what?
announced he's no longer doing the Sackman's
So
commercials.
not
That's what
yesterday.
I've always called him. The
Yeah, the sack man. Not yesterday, but the Sunday before. My intro to my sermon was like, you just can't believe anything you hear, kind of stuff. Like, the stars are messing with us now with this whole T Swift
yeah.
Kelsey thing. Like, and people are spreading it as if it's true. Like,
And if it matters.
Yeah, and so then that Sunday was the first time she's at the game, and my
All seemed
phone's
very
blowing
contrived.
up with see, it's real, and I'm like, oh, whatever.
Is it real?
Yeah,
Is it?
this is.
I don't know.
What are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they doing?
I don't
to
know.
us?
Like I said,
think
remember
Lawrence-
Other than annoying a lot
there
of
was
football fans.
aliens. Remember the floating balloons, the Chinese balloons, and now we've got this.
Now we got T Swift
it
in
all
the press
seems
box
Very convenient.
in the owner's suite
It's weird. With mom.
with mom.
Who does that? You don't go straight to mom.
Isn't he engaged or has a girlfriend that's expecting?
Travis Kelsey?
Yeah.
No, I think they broke up. Anyway, we've spent too much time on
So
it.
he has an ex-girlfriend who's expecting, which is
No,
is that what
well,
it is?
I think-
theoretically maybe
even better.
worse.
Oh Lord, the thing I read said he'd been broke up for several years. Anyway,
Okay.
we
So
got to
he
get
does
off
have an
of this
ex-girlfriend that's
subject.
expecting. It just
We have
maybe,
to get
you know,
off of the
What is
subject.
she
never
expecting?
ruin a good story with
This
the
is
facts.
what they
I
want
know.
us to do.
Well, I don't. You guys know I don't watch golf, so I'm a little lost on this whole narrative.
What's golf?
The NFL, right? Like
NFL, yeah, gotcha.
Nice.
Tracking. I'm tracking.
that is golf, right?
Oh,
Sure.
yeah, it's
Might
golf.
as well be.
That just got so
With my,
uncomfortable.
with my
You can't-
European soccer
You can't
jersey.
touch the quarterback, so
Yeah, right.
like penalty, failure to place a pillow below the quarterback's
In
head.
soccer, you can still hit every player on the field.
Yeah.
Everybody can
and you
receive
can still
contact.
dramatically
Head-to-head
fall
contact.
and roll
Head-to-head
about.
contact may or may not be a foul.
yeah.
Sometimes
Dramatically
is, sometimes
fall
isn't.
and roll about as you are injured, which we all know it's just a timeout, right?
Oh,
To
it
get
is.
it's just a
Yeah,
timeout.
it's if I act really hurt, the rest of my teammates can go over and get a drink of water and talk to coach.
100% a timeout. I figured it out.
We don't have timeouts in our sport, but we have timeouts.
There's
So
timeouts.
LeBron James should be a soccer player.
He would have been great.
He'd been great.
Flop with the best
Boy,
of them.
that guy falling though out on the pitch. Ow!
Floppy
he could
McFlop
crush
face.
somebody. Just man down.
Was there an earthquake? No, that was LeBron hitting the ground again.
Could you imagine how bad it would hurt to fall if you're that big?
Oh, ouch.
It'd have to be terrible.
It's hurting when falling is more a factor of age than size.
Yeah,
No,
I'm telling you
size
that.
thing
right now.
I think about that a lot. Like I was watching after soccer training yesterday. Some of the football guys were out just kind of running routes and throwing the football, and there's a part of my youthfulness that wanted to go like, "Hey guys, throw me one." Because I remember just loving getting under one where I'm laying out and catching it, on the jump, and I thought, "Oh no, that would hurt."
That would, that would be
so
that would be
bad.
pain.
You didn't think about it though.
Yeah, no.
You didn't think about it. Just jumping down off of something the other day, it was like 3 feet, and I thought,
Shockwaves.
I need to make sure I land properly.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, I remember jumping out of the barn loft when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, we did that all the
bounce
time.
out
And now it's
and
like,
roll if you need to.
Before you jump, you're thinking, you feel the pain of your hips and your back.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, it's awful.
You kind of like we had a big barn, and there was like square bales, and we'd tear them up and we'd jump probably 10 feet out of the loft onto some hay, and you'd kind of judge, do I have enough hay? And you didn't know until you jumped the first time.
I hope
and you're
so.
like, no, I didn't have enough hay.
was
We
not
need to
enough
add
hay.
some more to the pile before we dive out of the
man.
barn loft again.
I'm not diving out of a barn loft anytime soon.
Hard no.
Well, I mean, I was pilling around maybe going back and taking some different martial arts classes from like a different art. You know, now I've been out of it a couple of years and thought that might be fun. And I'm looking at some things and it's like, well, there's karate. Karate's fun. Hapkido. I'd like to do some Hapkido. It's like, there's judo. No.
Hard pass.
Yeah.
I'm too old to be throwing around.
I have never
we had
been
a
the proper age for judo.
Jiu-jitsu gym owner in our church, and I was talking to him Sunday, like, man, come on out. Like, just come mess around on the mats a little bit. And I'm like, no, that's just, my shoulder hurts just thinking about it.
Jiu-jitsu has two strikes against it. One is
Choke
you get
holds?
thrown to the ground.
Yep.
And the second is you're rolling around the ground with sweaty guys.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not a fan of either one of those things.
Yeah, well,
Is judo and jiu-jitsu two different things?
Yes.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu is not on the ground. Jiu-jitsu is I'm going
Jiu-jitsu's
to grab
Brazilian
you and throw you
and,
onto the ground.
It's kind of a mix of all the things.
I'm just a
There's
no on
Brazilian
all of it.
jiu-jitsu, which is derivative of Japanese jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
But the Brazilians, the Gracie family, were the ones that made it worldwide famous because the one Gracie guy, he went into UFC 1, this little dude,
Okay.
and
and
destroyed
dominated.
won it.
Total spider monkey
So that's what
mode.
sent jiu-jitsu
Yeah.
on the trajectory.
Yeah, and nobody knew what was going on because I mean, these guys are like punching and stuff, and then this dude, he's
He's
grabs
ripping
him,
your eyeballs out.
He gets him on the ground, and then like they'll be on the ground for like 5 minutes, and the announcer's like, "We don't." So and
not
then all of a
moving.
sudden the other guy's
He's
like,
the Adam.
"Oh, let me go."
Yeah. I'm choking out. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nobody knew what was happening, but he was like putting him in some pain with that jiu-jitsu stuff.
Jiu-jitsu hoodoo.
That jiu-jitsu voodoo.
Jiu-jitsu is all about submission. It's about getting the other guy in so much pain. Tap, snap, or nap. You know, and that's
fun.
jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
That's another good T-shirt.
Anyway, I was
for you.
invited to go join him on the
What's out
mat, and
there?
I said, hard no.
No,
Yeah,
that's like,
not,
no, I'll
not
pass.
doing that.
Yeah.
Pass and pass.
That kind of reminds me when
gonna
you know,
mess
it's
up my hair.
Have you ever had somebody, and there's a right answer and a wrong answer to this question every single time it's asked, and it's always the same answer. And it can go like it can be like, what are you doing Saturday? Or it can be, hey, are you busy? And the correct answer to all those is, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I am busy.
Or the
Because
deflection.
I don't know-
The defer. Let me
when
check.
someone
I don't
invites
know
you
if
to
you're
do something,
taking me to
I'm
lunch
back.
or if you need me to move a refrigerator.
Oh yeah, I don't ever ask. I hate it when somebody does that to me. Would you guys got anything going on Friday night?
I do now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty safe there. I almost always have something going on. So
Yeah.
it's just like, I just have to.
But sometimes I
check
want to
with
know what
Shayna,
the offer on
Google
the table
Calendar.
is. Like I want to
100%
peek at the
always
card.
want to know what the offers
Like,
are.
what is it?
If you're inviting us over for dinner, I'll probably shuffle something around and
I'll
find a
come.
way to get there, though.
Yeah, you're gonna
Let's move
feed
a
me.
fridge. I got to think about that a little
Yeah.
bit.
Well, I don't have to think at all about that.
Well,
I have a rule.
It depends. Do you want to borrow the truck or do you want to borrow me?
That's
you want
fair.
to borrow the truck? We maybe work something
You
out.
can have my truck, you can have my twins, but you can't have me.
I have a strict no more moving refrigerator rule after an incident where Jesse was
Smart.
nearly killed by a Sub-Zero.
Yeah, smart.
Literally.
Well, that's one of the fun things about getting old is it's just sort of like,
Yeah,
those days are behind
my
me.
brothers
Yeah.
borrowed Jesse
I'm not going to do
and
that
never again.
anymore.
Yeah. I got a truck because I do like to help people with that sort of thing. So I love, last week Mason was like, hey, what you doing? Oh, you want me to go to Wildcat and
busy.
get a scissor lift? Yeah, I can do that. That requires
fun.
driving something on a trailer, not.
And then do I get to ride the
Yeah,
scissor
but
lift?
well, right.
But that's your pro tip for the day
Yeah.
is tell people what you want when you ask
Yeah,
them.
don't start with.
Well, because if
"Are
you don't, we
busy?"
already know we don't want to know and we don't want to be a part of it.
Well,
Yeah.
at least I'm very skeptical
Yeah, I'm not going to be all
that
in.
I'm about to get roped into something. And so,
Oh, we've got somebody watching from Monterey Bay.
hey, Monterey Bay.
Is that
welcome.
VPN? I don't know.
Hey, Flipper, what's going on?
Or anyway.
They call him Flipper.
Oh, good morning,
King
Emma.
of the sea.
And
sounds
congratulations
suspicious.
are in order
No
to
one
our
can
friend
be
Emma. Speaking of her, she inserted her good morning. She got recognized. I'm going to say it's at the state fair. I read the article 3 or 4 times to remember it, but as the Webster County Farm Family. Isn't that awesome?
That is
And
pretty
very
awesome.
well
There's the
deserved.
applause button somewhere. on there.
Woo!
Yeah,
But,
but bomb.
Well,
Okay.
something, anything will work.
That was really cool that
We need
Emma
to get
got
the
that.
soundboard reprogrammed. We kind of let that go by the way. So we
That's cool.
Yeah,
I was thinking about Emma last night because I was, I've expanded the garden at the Ballard household,
Yep.
and so last night I put in another raised bed, and
Like I'm going to fill you with,
I'm going to fill
with a
you
bounty.
fill you with things from Emma's shop.
There will be a cornucopia.
It's still not big enough.
Yeah, it's time to go buy some moms or something, or from.
It is. She's open on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays right now.
It is mum season. We are currently working on killing some mums at the
I
Ballard
had
house.
to water my mums last night because I looked at them and they were like, "Why are you trying to kill me?" And I'm like,
thirsty.
"Let me water you."
So I'm looking at my frankenfruit tree, right?
Oh yeah, how's Frankenfruit? It's been a while since we had an update.
I think it's fine, but it's the leaves are looking a little brown, and I'm trying to decide if it's not doing well or if it's just that time of year because it's a small tree. I would assume
They're going to drop their leaves a little sooner.
Yeah, that'd be my
They're
thinking.
a little more vulnerable.
So I think the cherry piece did not take. So
Okay.
I think it is can't remember what else I put on that thing. Peach and apple. I think
Okay.
I've got a peach and apple tree left. So I may do a cherry plum tree next to it.
There you go. That makes sense.
Not a cherry plum, but a plum and
Bradford plum.
cherry.
Is that what you-
Bradford plum. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah,
They-
pear.
they could be
I
the
love
next
pear.
invasive
pears
species.
Are awesome. Pears
I
are
love
great.
Shayna bought some pears the other day.
They're so
and,
good.
The problem with pears is they go from too hard to eat
Yes.
to I've got one day ripeness and I'm brown, I'm done.
Mealy mess.
Oh yeah, it's like an avocado.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
like for a couple days, it was so like I'm eating pears over the sink. I love a good fruit that you have to go to the sink to eat. It was just delish.
Yep.
If you can get some pears, a little white wine, a little sugar,
Oh, yeah.
and saute them up in the pan.
I bet that's tasty. Pretty good. That would you learn that during your
Call that a
cooking?
pear reduction class
I did, yeah.
sauce? Is that what that's
we
called?
did some sauteed pears
I don't
in
know
the
either.
Culinary 101 class. It was pretty good. They were pretty tasty.
We always like pear honey. That's what you make with when one of your neighbors has one of those massive old pear trees, and you get a bunch of those and you make pear honey. It's like a jam.
Are
but
Bradford
it's-
pears eating pears? Or
No,
I didn't
they're
think
the
so.
devil.
No,
Go on,
they're
get.
just
They're the
killing
ones
Missouris.
that aren't they the ones that we
evil.
decided like 40 years ago to plant as decorative things?
Right.
And,
Yes,
Everybody-
they're not.
everybody
going
put them
to
in their
spread.
neighborhood.
and they're
Now-
invasive species.
Yeah, now they're all over
and
the
they're destroying the countryside.
Ozarks.
The larger name is, I think, Calvary pear, and they
don't
weren't
like them.
supposed. They weren't supposed to produce fruit, and they weren't supposed to spread or pollinate each other, and blah
they
blah
do.
blah.
Well, in
And
the
now they smell like
immortal
rotting
words,
bodies and
they
taking
smell
over
awful.
landscapes. It's
immortal
gross.
words of Jeff Goldblum: "Nature finds a way."
It does. Yes, it
Name
does.
that movie.
Independence Day.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Oh
Jurassic
Independence Day.
no, I was thinking because he was a scientist in that movie too, right?
I think he's
Well,
just
no,
in general a scientist in every movie.
Yeah,
It's kinda
he has a
his
scientisty
shtick.
voice.
Man. That's twice already today I've gotten a reference wrong.
Wow.
Gosh, Ballard, you need to go watch some movies.
Drink some
Right?
more coffee.
You need to do a movie bender.
More story time coffee.
So I went to Charleston last week, and it was really fun. It's a neat city.
You've sold me.
It's-
I got a couple
stinking
friends that live. I got three
cool.
friends that live there.
Darn it, it's neat, and it's old, right? Like it's really old, and we just had a really good time. The food was ridiculous. I've got my Lewis barbecue mug because it's the best barbecue plate I've ever had.
Get some Carolina sauce.
I don't know what they are. A Texas barbecue
Really? Okay.
that has set up in Carolina. He
Okay.
worked with Franklin and did all that. And usually when you go to a barbecue place, either they have really good meat or they have really good sides, and not both. Both,
Wow.
yes.
You been to Central Barbecue in Memphis?
No, well, maybe when I was a kid, but I don't remember it.
Good.
I don't remember it.
The original one, the one that's like in the middle of everything.
Yeah, I maybe where I went as a
Next to
kid,
the,
but I don't remember.
MLK Memorial.
Gotcha. So it's an amazing city, though.
You need a dill snack stick is what you need. According to Emma.
Yum, yum, yum.
Still burping that up.
A snack stick. They're
Snack
delicious.
stick.
I
They are
had the
good.
barbecue one the next
Barbecue's
day.
delicious.
Ooh,
Real nice.
Ooh, so good.
When I was at breakfast last Thursday, bought some dill snack
you?
sticks for me and Jack. Yep, we had
a big
dill
deal.
snack sticks. It's a big deal.
I had some for lunch the other day and ate half the package. I was like, I probably need to slow down on the sodium content right
did
now.
that. She brought them in here as a sample and she left the bag. Yeah, I ate them.
It happens.
I thought you were saving those for all of us.
Nope, they are
bummer.
gone.
Went through real quick.
Well, yeah, I have to be. You mentioned sodium. That's one thing that works up my acid reflux. So
I was gonna. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well.
Are you still off of?
So I'm off Nexium.
Nexium, yeah.
But I've started taking Pepsid
AC.
360 or whatever.
Pepsi
whatever.
something.
Maybe that's anyway. I'm mixing brands, but so I've been doing that instead. But now I'm cutting those in half.
Okay.
So now I'm down to half a pill every
Good.
morning.
I thought about you the other day
So-
on that. I had indigestion. I was like, wonder how he's doing with his battle with acid
How's Ballard?
reflux.
So I started to say I ate one of those sticks the other day, worried that maybe it would flare
It's
it up.
going to trigger it.
Didn't.
Well, that's
It
a good
didn't, which
sign.
is-
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, because
Good.
the processed meats will do that.
Yep.
Yes, they will.
Anything processed, I have to give a real hard look at. Is this worth it?
Oh, and I've been eating pork from Emma too, and it's been amazing. It's very good. We picked it up, I don't know, like a week ago Friday. It was great.
If you're not buying your meat local around here, you're kind of nuts.
silly.
'Cause there's so many great options, and it's all so good.
I'm not a big barbecue guy, but we had kind of a leadership deal over the weekend with Story Church, and so I ordered some City Butcher. I don't know if you know this, but Brent Sonamaker, who lives here in Rogersville, is the new owner of City Butcher.
Has it changed? I didn't know. Was he one of the original guys, or is he
no.
like new?
Yeah.
Okay.
He may have. I don't know. But
Okay.
there was a little bit of an issue that happened. Yeah. So he's
Okay.
Now he after that owns it.
Okay, he was probably one of the original guys then.
Yeah, he may have been.
Maybe. Okay.
He may
Yeah.
have dabbled in it, but
Yeah.
he's the owner now.
So last,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Their burn-ins are so good.
I love me a good burn.
And their cheesy jalapeno corn. Have you ever had that? The
I have
jalapeno
not.
cheese corn. Oh my!
sounds good.
I have
We
trouble.
had some left over, and Shayna made like this chicken, rice, and beans. She had a chicken bowl, like chicken burrito bowl
Yeah.
stuff she made on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then she repurposed it yesterday with some like chicken and rice soup, and then I
love
threw
that.
that corn on top to
That'd
give
be
it a little
good.
kick. And oh my,
That'd be
goodness.
good.
So awesome.
Kevin Lane had a gig Saturday night, and so he asked me to smoke a 15-pound bone-in prime rib.
I saw pictures of that. It looked good.
Yeah, Peter's got it for you.
I don't
We'll
do
show you
prime
what that
rib
looks like.
much, but when I do have it,
Oh,
I'm
maybe
always
not.
like, yeah, that's so good.
Prime
put it
rib's
on,
pretty tasty.
Throw it up there. We'll show you what that looks like. Yeah, probably. So it was a 15-pound. Look at that. So he covered that thing.
Good
and
grief.
He had it covered in herb butter, and then I put it in the smoker, and that's when it was done. But it was. I finished it for him. I brought it in the house so that everyone could smell it.
I was hoping you were going to show it.
And then
I need a
through.
well,
wanna see
I
the
need a
ends.
cut.
Well,
I think Kevin somebody had a picture of it cut.
I have one on a plate actually.
Oh, see, now I see that over there.
I'll send that
it just
over.
looks amazing.
Put that up on the screen here. So this is
good
when it's
red
cut
meat.
and served. So this is a picture of it when Kevin served it.
All right, we're seeing it. It's
Get
coming.
it up here in just a second.
Yeah, I
It
just
looks
don't
perfectly
have prime
done.
rib often, but when I've had it, I'm like, oh my,
So
yeah, just look at
the
that.
picture's huge. So it's like
Whoa!
Oh yeah,
whoa.
you can
The other
leave
way.
it. It's fine.
that's the veggies.
You're showing us the veggies. That's all right. We saw it. We saw
That
it.
was like an alien spaceship landed a food.
It would look a
This is-
little.
I made the producer laugh. Yes.
Mr. Producer's like, could we maybe work
Stop
out
doing
these
things
pictures
on the
ahead of
fly.
time?
Yeah, no
Yeah, because
kidding.
then I can, make it look professional.
That'd
I'm
be true.
officially
But we don't
more
plan
hungry.
anything for this show.
That's why it's called the
No,
waffle.
That's why it's
just
why would
waffling
we
along.
plan?
By the way,
That'd be silly.
If you won't notice, but you can't see it, Chris. But there's this big box sitting under the desk now back there.
You're right. Oh, well.
Yeah, I see a
that
box.
is an uninterruptible power supply.
After last Tuesday,
Which there's one back there.
What
on-
happened? I watched the thing.
we had a surge. It just
Oh,
blinked.
no.
The power
Our show
blinked.
ended
Yep.
because the power flashed out.
It
and-
came back on as quick as it went out, but our show was over. So.
Yeah, the show was
Yeah,
over.
I watched most of it. I must have missed
Yeah,
the
it was
very
the
end.
Very end. Yeah, prime rib's good stuff.
Me too,
That's
Beth. I'm
funny.
hungry too.
I put one of those back there on the router and the incoming internet, and there's one here powering that stage. And so if our powers goes down, we'll lose this TV and we'll lose the lights, but the show will go on.
The show
is
must go
is
on.
the theory.
now, how does that work?
It'll go on for a little bit.
It's got a big old battery,
There's
right?
just a huge battery.
Okay.
And so it's
But what about the Wi-Fi?
the Wi-Fi is also on
The battery.
a backup battery in there.
So
Battery.
okay, so as long as that battery is
Battery.
the battery is still
So there's a
working, then we won't lose the signal because the internet didn't go out, just the electric went
well,
out. So
yeah.
that makes sense. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So as
You're
long
gonna
as there's
say
electricity,
battery from here
we'll
on
have-
out.
Battery.
Battery.
I don't
Battery?
know. I mean, the one back there will probably last a long time because it's not pulling very much. But I don't know, running all that TV,
Yeah.
that monitor, that all that jazz, it may not last real long, but they switch real fast. I mean,
Yeah.
they detect that the power is gone fast enough that your computers won't shut off.
We had that down here at the church, and I didn't know that. So when we first, purchased the building, all of a sudden I think we had a situation like that, and I couldn't figure out. Like, I thought I had a major issue because why are some things working and some things aren't? Like,
that
this
would
is
be
trouble.
Yeah, that would be confusing.
Once we learned, because we have a backup battery supply,
There's
but
battery.
it only goes to certain things because we can't run everything. It was really helpful because then we switched over the important things like the refrigerator and the freezers so that we wouldn't lose food at the coffee shop.
Yeah, that's a
we had
If
devastating
it's running
thing.
a refrigerator freezer, that's got to be a huge honking.
Well, it
battery.
doesn't do it for long.
Like 15 minutes,
You
maybe.
have a panic moment.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah. What I like about using them on electronics is your computers don't just lose power. Computers hate it when they just lose power.
Yeah.
And so this prevents that from happening, and it should keep the show running.
That's good, and it also could be used as a weapon in the event of a siege on the building. You could definitely
heavy.
throw that.
Very heavy. We have other options before we got to that.
No, I'm so confused. I'm so surprised.
Like what?
What are we talking
You
about?
can't, you
The
can't
taco
mention that on
trophy?
it.
I can talk about it. I'm here last show.
So your soccer boys are doing real nice.
Real nice, yeah.
Real nice. That's exciting.
13-0, ranked number 1 in the state. Big win last week.
The rankings came out then because
They
we were talking
finally
about that
came out. Yeah, they
last
came
week.
out that
We
day.
thought
Exciting.
maybe, and number
Yeah.
1. Wow.
That's very
That's big.
exciting.
Big game tonight at Monette.
That's
so
always a big deal.
They're good. I think they're ranked 8 in the state. We're number 1.
Okay.
We got to go there, and that's always a hard
That's a
place
drive.
to play. And
Do they have a big crowd there?
they do. They're
Okay.
rowdy, and they beat a drum, and
Yes.
it definitely
That's what's
takes
so
on
fun.
that international flair.
I'm sorry, I missed it. Where are you playing?
at Monette.
Monette, yeah. Now, how did Cassville go on the hillside?
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, the state rankings came out like minutes before we played the game. So we didn't tell the boys. We struggled mightily on their field. So we were up 1-0 almost the whole game, and with 16 seconds left, we let them score.
Oh,
So
Lord.
we beat them in double overtime. We dominated
Yowza.
the game, but we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And it was in part their cow pasture that we had to play on because it's hard to play the game correctly. It's like, if you've ever putted on a really nice green and then tried to putt in your backyard.
I played softball at the Rogersville ballpark.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get a true.
Maybe, it's been years ago. Maybe
You don't
fine
get a
now,
true
but-
a true roll on the infield, do you?
You do not.
Yeah,
You
so-
do not. It's kind of random
Yeah,
where that ball's
yeah.
going to go. If it's a grounder,
That's a
ping pong.
another great picture of what we were dealing with last week. But we prevailed in the end, and honestly, it was one of those where it was kind of good. I almost wanted us to lose. Had it not been a conference game, I think I'd have rather just taken the loss because it was a wake-up call for the boys. Like, okay, you're good, you're undefeated, you're ranked number 1,
you are
and
not bulletproof.
Only one
you've
game.
done nothing. You
Yeah.
have done
One
nothing.
game.
So
One game away from
tonight's big though because if we win, we are for sure at least going to be co-conference champs. And
It's
if we
exciting.
win next week against Matt County, we'd be outright champs. Which Catholic is leaving the Big 8. This is the big hubbub. There's getting ready to be a big conference realignment that nobody seems to know how it's going to settle, but we know for sure
interesting.
Catholic's leaving. So we'd love to send
You
them
won't
out
be with Catholic anymore?
Yeah, they're leaving our conference.
Are they going up?
They're going to the Mid Lakes.
How does that work? I don't know how that works. So
No,
it
it's
just
not,
reorganizes? It just reorganizes
Yeah, it's just a reorg.
Okay.
So
It's
knows?
It's not like
Mid-Lakes.
Champions League and Premier League. And,
no, it's not a promotion.
Well, even
relegation.
how does the school ranking
I know
work?
those words 'cause I saw Ted
currently
Lasso.
Because I saw
We're
Ted Lasso.
so in soccer we're 2A. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we're
Yeah.
kind of right on the bubble between 2 and 3. So like
Yeah.
Bolivar's been 3 the last few years. Now they're 2A. They dropped
Okay.
down because they're a little bit smaller. So if you're a private school and you've had success, they bump you up based on success to even it out.
Yeah,
since
makes
they get to
sense.
recruit.
Yeah,
Oh, we
yeah.
don't recruit, but they recruit.
Right, yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, there's a lawsuit in Springfield right now.
yeah,
because of all
it's
that.
interesting.
one of those
Interestingly
got
enough,
decided.
so 3 years ago, we had a player who has always lived in Rogersville, but he went to Catholic. And so they left Catholic to come into school here at Rogersville. So he had to play JV his junior year. Now, keep in mind, this is an all-state level player having to play JV.
Yeah.
Because rules don't allow you to change schools and then play varsity. You got to sit for 1 year.
So that to me
And
is
here's a kid
stupid.
who, think about
Well,
this.
I get it.
Always lived in Rogersville.
Yeah.
Wasn't recruited by us. They made the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He, again, always lived in the town. Didn't come for sporting reasons because obviously Catholic has a greater history in in soccer than we
Sure.
do. So anyway, he was not allowed to. So this case that's going on in Springfield bugs me.
Yeah.
Because had they chosen to sue,
Right.
which you can do, and if you want to throw some money at it, he could have played for us.
Right.
But
And
this looks more like a recruiting thing than our
the Springfield
situation.
one? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, whereas ours was really pure in every way.
Well, and I mean, I don't know that it was, I don't know the facts of the case at all. I've just heard what I've heard. But I don't know that it was a recruiting situation so much as
Well, he claimed he was being discriminated
I got
against.
that. I got that. And but if we don't accept that as a true statement.
And maybe
which
it is. I don't know
maybe it is.
either. I don't want to try to say I know what's going on.
It can be just as simple as the coach didn't recruit him. He just was like, well, I'd rather go play there.
Yeah.
Which you have
it
to
got
stop
decided.
that. You need to stop that.
Yeah, you have
It
to.
did get decided. The judge decided he could play.
No, the judge, because nothing has been settled yet, is giving him permission to play
Oh, okay.
until it's all sorted out.
I thought the article I read said
Yeah.
that he had been.
He's,
It had
Which
the
is going to
judge
make
had
it a moot
decided.
case
Maybe
anyway.
they go.
Right.
Yeah, it's de facto decided,
Yes.
even though it isn't officially decided.
I honestly, it
It's a
is
mess.
not easy to move, right? It's not easy to move.
Well, in Springfield, though, they've got a little bit of you can go to any high school you want if you live in Springfield.
but the problem is
I don't think
once
that's
you've,
right.
once you've played a
I
varsity,
don't think you can.
Once
No,
you've played
I
a
don't think you
varsity
can.
year, if you then move, which you can move schools. It's about playing. Mm-hmm. So they want to keep you from moving schools and then playing for another team. So you got to sit 1 year. And that is good because it keeps you from doing.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense because, in Springfield, there's multiple districts. In Springfield, I don't think you can willy-nilly go to any school you want to. I think the school has to, accept the move kind of
and that-
thing.
that's probably
it's just
true.
easier to do.
Well, it's for example, a lot of kids go to Central for their
IB
gifted
program, which
program.
is a different scenario, but yes,
Yeah, but I know there's other scenarios of people I know who had done that, who had another kid who ended up going to even a different school because they had a different program that made more sense for that kid. So I do think, but I don't think it's willy-nilly.
No,
I don't think
probably
you just
not,
get to wake up and
But
decide.
there's definitely hey, I know I live in Kickapoo, but I want to go to Glendale, and there's a process for making that happen.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, I like the idea of let's open it up. You can go to any school you want because then that promotes competition, and then maybe schools have to do better.
Yeah, no, school choice, big
school
fan.
Choice is a good
but
thing.
on the sporting issue,
issue
you've
is
got to
another
have a
issue.
rule,
Yes.
and it's got to just be this is the rule because you cannot get into a case by case fact driven scenario. Well, this person
you
did
really
it
can't.
for this reason. Their motivation. You don't know what
You don't
somebody's
know.
motivation
You have
is.
no idea on
You
something
can't,
like
you can't
that.
judge that. You got to say this is a rule. We're
See,
sorry
my
it
thing
didn't
is,
work out well for you.
if you just open it up for everybody, because it's trying to prevent really good athletes from going and playing and dominating other teams, right? Is that the goal?
I like the Yankees.
Sure. Well, I mean, think of it. If the school choice, I'm a big fan from an educational standpoint because I think it holds school systems accountable for how they're doing in math and how they're doing in history or whatever. But from an athletic standpoint, it opens itself to, well, this will now be the dominant soccer school in Springfield. This will be the dominant football team, and you already have that. I mean, you look at Webb City and you see that for 2 decades, families have moved to Webb City not because Webb City is such an amazing town, but so that kids can play football at an amazing program.
Suzanne's got the inside scoop somehow, so we'll have to suss that out. So apparently, he could have played anywhere except Glendale, and I don't
No.
I don't know what that. I don't
I
know
don't
why.
know.
That
Well,
would be,
I mean, and again, Suzanne, you can fill me in next Sunday, but I think it's that rivalry, that South Side rivalry.
oh
Yeah.
Is,
that may have
so
made it more of a.
had he gone to one of those schools, well, we don't care
Nobody
because
would
you're
have
not our
caused an
rival, but
issue.
because it's that one, we're going to raise a
And maybe
stink.
that makes sense. Maybe, but the rules should be the rule, no matter what. When law school we learned an axiom, which I think nobody cares about anymore, but it was brilliant. It said hard cases make bad law.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what you see.
that's
It's
right.
The law produces an unjust result in this one case, but if you change the law to fit that one case, you've now screwed the other hundreds
Everybody
of thousands
else,
of
yeah.
people. So sometimes you got to find a different reason,
Yeah.
or you just have to say, we know it didn't work, we're sorry.
Yep.
but it's the rule's correct.
Yeah.
where it didn't fit this one place.
We have this law because most of the time this is what is needed.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Yep.
you got to roll with it.
Yeah.
Tricky.
Speaking of rolling with it, it's 8:25 already. This
Oh my goodness.
show kind of flew by.
We did it.
It
It
flew
was
by in a
quick.
hurry. And hey, guess what? It's going to get cold tomorrow.
I
Gonna get
know.
rain.
It's supposed to rain.
It's going to cool down. They're talking like upper 30s by the weekend.
I am excited about this because I don't like the 85-degree
Fall, y'all.
Fall,
y'all.
y'all.
Fall, y'all.
No more Saul, which is summer fall. We're in fall.
I hate that.
Well, there'll be second summer though, or third summer.
hoping
We're already in
not.
second summer. It
We're
could be a
in
third
second.
one.
Might
We
get
may
third
be in
summer.
third summer. We may be in third summer. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't
We're
feel like
definitely
we've had
in
a
second
false fall.
summer. We're definitely
I don't
in
think
summer.
we've had a false fall
We had
yet.
like 3 days. There was 2 or
Yes,
3 days
yes.
where there was
It got down
a
into the
nip.
40s, like
Yeah.
upper
Yeah,
40s, and
maybe.
it was
because
like,
the pools
there
got
it
really
is.
But it
cold. The
popped
pools
back,
were still
those
open.
same days it was popping up into upper 70s,
I
lower
don't
80s
know.
though. So I don't know.
So you think this
Somebody-
could be one more false fall?
Somebody bring out the chart.
It could be.
that
It could
chart
be.
on Facebook that's
Could be
got
another
like
false fall.
you're here in your Missouri weather thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we're going to wrap it up. We'll be back next week. We appreciate you watching.
Yeah, it's good to be
Visit our
back.
sponsors. They care about you.
We care.
They don't know what to do with their hands. We'll see you next week. Bye.